Happy Monday night. And we have none other than fucking Pissing Razors on with us tonight. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight?
Absolutely fantastic. So I'm gonna go right into this. You guys have been a band for 31 fucking years.
Yes, sir.
There's not very many bands that can ever say that on any level. There's very, very few that could ever fucking say that. Now, as far as you guys being musicians, what is some type of advice that you could give to bands on having that kind of longevity and sticking it out and actually being able to do that? Like, what is some of the things that you guys did that made y'all successful and actually kept you together as a band?
Just do what you do. Do what you like to do the way you like to do it, and be honest to what you're doing, you know?
Yeah, and on my end would be more, you know, I think we were blessed to meet the guys that, you know, me and Matt always been, you know, high school buddies and stuff like that. We had the pleasure of meeting Ed many years ago, you know, and then of course we've had lineup changes, and we had another guy, Rick Baez, bass player, but you know, we were always friends with Gio. So I mean, having a good connection with your people and being open-minded and being respectful and all that good stuff, it definitely has gone a long way for us. You know, I mean, we're literally the best of friends, and when we didn't have it, you know, you're gonna miss it, and then that's what kind of happened to us.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the bands that do the best are the ones that can kind of create like a family atmosphere. Like, you guys are fucking related, like you're brothers and sisters.
Absolutely.
It's like, that's how I feel about my vocalist and my guitarist. Is like, I feel like that's my legit sister or brother. And it works out well. But when you go into it, you do have to have that business aspect, but that's outside of your relationships together.
Right.
And I feel like if you treat everybody like they're an employee, which is how a lot of bands do, it's just a fucking recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, you have to have everything in line per se, but you know, you have to be that family first in order for it to work. And we've been blessed for, you know, the 31 years to be able to do what we do. Like Eddie said, be honest with what we create, and be honest with each other. You know, hey, we're not going to agree on everything, but at least we're going to come together as a group, and there's always a compromise, you know, and the compromise always just turns out well for everybody, you know.
Right, absolutely. All right, Mega Monster, you up on
I knew it. Right. So you guys started in Texas, which I am a huge fan of. Now, what do you think anything about starting in Texas, growing up there, being around these Texans has like helped influence your music, your creative process?
I think we were influenced by a lot of people, not much necessarily just from Texas per se, but I mean, you know, we did have good friends and some great musicians that have been around Texas, you know, for many years, you know. So I would say, yeah, it was a good starting point. But then as we moved on, we've met so many cool people. You know, Eddie had an opportunity to have a bar here in Texas, in El Paso, and it catered to live music. So he would book a lot of bands, him and his brother. So we had the pleasure of meeting a lot of good folks, you know. Some that we want to forget, and there's others that we don't, and we're still friends with them to this day.
Very few, though.
Yeah, it takes all kinds. It takes all kinds.
Yeah, but it's you know, few and far between the ones that we dislike, because there really isn't. We've never been that type of band. We've always appreciated everybody's their chemistry and what they have to offer to the music scene. So I mean, but yeah, I mean, being from Texas is always cool. You know, we had the boys from Pantera around here and stuff. So I mean, those were our influences too. So why not?
Oh yeah.
Right, absolutely. All right, Mosh, you're up on deck, bro.
All right, so when y'all are working in that shop, what is the one thing you hate most while working?
Working here in this shop.
Yep. When you're working in that shop, what is the
he's
one
pulling
thing you
personal
hate?
questions now.
That one's easy for me. If we don't have enough alcohol, we got problems.
I like you.
If we don't have enough to drink around here and stuff, yeah, then we have to go find it somewhere else. It makes it a little bit difficult.
Yeah, that's hardly ever a problem.
Yeah, If not, we do have close friends that'll be like they're a phone call away. They're like, we're running a little low on a few things.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll show you the fridge. Shop fridge here.
Hey, you got a bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's why I went and bought a mini fridge that is literally sitting right here beside my damn desk full of fucking beer, so I can just reach down and grab it.
We got Eddie's got 2 mini fridges stacked on top of each other. So I'll tell you what, it works well. And
dude,
there's always booze somewhere.
Anybody watching, you don't understand how wonderful mini fridges are. They're one of the greatest inventions ever fucking made.
Oh yeah.
And because I used to have to, whenever I was running the show, I didn't have a mini fridge, and so it would suck because I would have to come in here and bring a bunch of beer in here, and then by the time I get to like my second or third beer, it's getting fucking warm, and I'm like, God damn, this sucks. I'm like, how the fuck can I remedy this? I'm like, shit, I'm gonna buy a fucking mini fridge.
Ironically,
greatest thing ever.
Both the fridges that I got were given to me. So the first one, a girlfriend of my girlfriend broke up with me, and she took all the freaking furniture and fridge and everything. So I was in the house with no furniture, no fridge. So another girlfriend of mine, she's like, well, I got this mini fridge, you can have it. It's like, cool. So I used that for a long time. And then when I built the shop in the studio, my buddy Shannon sent me the little Marshall mini fridge that's on top of the other.
Nice.
Oh shit, that's pretty badass.
Definitely looks good. We'll have to give you a little tour of what the rest of it looks like, and a lot of fine memorabilia hanging around and stuff like that. So it's cool.
Cribs on injection
Awesome.
So on that, since we're talking about the mini fridges, before I give CB the floor, what is y'all's drink of choice?
Ooh.
Black Tooth Grand.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm a garbage pail kid. I'll fucking drink whatever. But my personal choice is the natural light, which is the financial light, and some
Financial light.
Oh my god.
I love it.
But it's cheaper than Lone Star. Shit.
Hey, that natty light is it goes a long way on if you're on a tight budget, but
Gets the job done, that's for sure.
the budget we don't care about the budget anymore. It's just good beer. So I mean, I'll take it anytime.
Now, if I got the money, I'm a Corona guy. I love Corona.
There you go.
But normally, because Corona's so damn expensive here, it's like fucking $50 for a 24 pack.
Oh, there you go. See,
Ew.
I'm a Coors Light guy. I like my fucking cold Rocky Mountains. Shout out to Coors if you want to endorse us or sponsor us. We would greatly appreciate it.
Well, then cheers, everybody.
And Pissing Razors would appreciate a sponsorship from Fireball. If you don't want to sponsor them.
Good old Fireball Joe. That's what they call me.
You know what? I don't know why I can't do Fireball. Because no matter if I drink one drink or 10 drinks, that shit gives me the worst fucking migraine goddamn headache I have ever had in my life, and I can't figure out why. It's only with Fireball.
I just don't like cinnamon. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do the Rumplemints back in the day. But, that the whole
It's
Christmas
twisted.
in your mouth thing. Yeah, it wasn't all about Christmas after a while.
Stick and twisted.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly. So, but we move on from that choice to other.
We
choices.
grow. We evolve.
But we do everything. I mean, we got Seagrams in here. We got Jack. We got I mean, the only one that doesn't drink is Matt. He hasn't drank in many, many years. So he kind of puts up with us, and so he kind of sits back and just watches us and stuff.
You get a permanent DD. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then he kind of knows when he's got to exit the stage left or stage right, whenever. He just takes a beeline out the door. So it's cool.
Nice. All right, CB, you're up on deck, bro.
All right. So, with everything that you guys have done in the past, is there still something that you guys want to do that you haven't gotten around to yet?
Very good.
Ooh, that's actually a really good question.
Yeah, I mean, there's always stuff that we haven't done. We haven't done South America, you know, or really big festivals, you know, like Ozfest, stuff like that. It'd be cool to be part of something like that.
Yeah, the big festivals. Yeah, I mean, and we did the Europe thing and stuff like that. I personally would love to go back. You know, I used to live in Japan for a little while when I was in the military. So to go over there and play would be awesome. You know, so I think Japan for me would be one of those bucket list kind of things. And South America, like Eddie said, to go out there and play with some of that brethren over there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're always down to play something, but you know, and if we haven't done it, even better. You know, so it's always cool.
Right.
All right. So if you guys could spend 24 hours with any kind of musical hero, dead or alive, who would you pick and why?
That's an easy one. That's an easy one for us. Cool.
Dimebag and Vinny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would definitely have to be to revisit some of those moments. Hanging out with those guys would be cool. And, you know, of course, old touring buddies, Propane would be nice to get back there and just sit there and catch up with some cold ones and stuff like that. But, yeah, for the most part, I think having those guys back, or at least be able to do something that was never done, I guess an opportunity to sit there and collaborate together. I mean, we did a cover song, one of their own songs, Domination, back in, I believe, was probably 2000. So, and they were very happy with what we had done. And Eddie became good friends with them as time went on, after I had stepped out of the band. But I think that would be one of those.
Dime actually called me when he heard the cover we did of Domination.
A special moment for sure.
And he you know, gave us props, and then he goes, dude, that's exactly the way we would have redone that song, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, see, you got somebody right here. We talked about this before we even got on the show.
Man.
Somebody's asking about y'all playing Spartanburg at Ground Zero.
That's some East Coast fans.
Hey, talk about going back to unfinished business, or a place that we were familiar with. Spartanburg, Ground Zero. That's one of the places we would love to go back and play.
Yeah, the brothers Ground Zero, they're always super cool, cool people.
Great times over there, man. We had the privilege of playing there twice. One time with Propane, and then we did the second tour and cycle in '99 with Skin Lab. So to go back there and do that, I mean, that would be super cool. Again,
I can't tell you how many times I've been to Ground Zero, because I mean, I live in South Carolina, but Spartanburg's still about a 4-ish hour drive from where I live in South Carolina. But for South Carolina, if you're going to go to a metal show, it's either Charleston or Spartanburg. That's really your only two choices. So, or Jacksonville, Florida. That's our only choices. So, y'all ever come to Spartanburg, my ass will be there.
Gosh, trust me. I mean, again, there's places that we've been to and we haven't been there in so many years, and we would love to go back and revisit that. You know, sooner than later for sure. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Everybody, I like
All
that.
right.
Everybody chiming in. So that's cool.
All right, Meg, you're up.
All right. So what is the biggest lesson that you had to learn as a touring musician? What's like the biggest thing that you had to learn?
The biggest lesson?
Yep.
Well, getting back to Dimebag, you know, I think that him and Vinny, they taught a lot of people how to be humble. They were some of the biggest rock stars on the planet, but they were always just, you know, so down to earth to everybody around them. And if anything, definitely learned humility from those guys. You know, no matter what position you're in, how big you get or whatever, always treat people like you want to be treated.
Yeah. for sure. And going a step above that is no matter what, whether there's 5 or 10 people or 500 or 5,000, you go out there and you do the same stuff that you would do no matter what, because integrity of the band is always key. Can't get down in the fact that there ain't nobody there. It might be a Monday night, whatnot. You go up there and give it your best. That's it, no matter what. So those were the biggest things for us, because it was always a challenge. Nobody knew who we were, but we had a blessing to our first major tour was in Europe, 73 shows, almost 4 months.
Yeah. Holy shit.
And you get out there and people already know your stuff. So guess what? Now you got to represent, So those were those tough lessons. Like, just no matter what, you go out there and you get it done, and then surviving with nothing sometimes, because that was a challenge in itself. I mean, you didn't have anything. You were lucky to make it to the next. In our early years,
a lot of beer.
Yeah, a lot of beer, and we share one burger with 6 guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
So survivability. You got to
2
make it
bites
happen
for everybody.
Yeah.
Freaking starved.
Yeah.
We had a starved tour in 1996, and it was one hamburger for 6 peeps. And then another 2 days later, you get an opportunity to get, because you have a little bit of money, and you go and get, 2 burgers and a fries, and then somebody ends up with a meatless burger. So
Oh, no.
survivability. The challenges of adapting to with pretty much nothing. You have nothing. You just got to keep going.
I mean, we got home from that tour.
Doing it for the art.
Yeah.
And my folks took a look at all of us. They're like, "What the hell? We got to take you guys go eat." They took us.
As soon as we drove in, his mom was like, "Oh my God, you guys look like shit. Let's go eat right now." I mean, we were literally like,
"Thanks, Mom. Thanks."
Okay,
Holy
let's
crap.
go. And sure enough, did. Like I said, there's many stories that on that tour in itself where you have a can of tuna, and it's the oil type. It's not even the water-based one. And you're popping it open, and God rest his soul, our old sound man, Benya, he's popping it open, and one of our techs was like, being a dumbass, being silly. And he goes and taps it from underneath, and you just see this can go up. And then all of a sudden, you see it, and everybody's look on their face was like in slow motion, like, no. and it lands on its fucking face, and you just see the oil coming out. And it was like, all we had was bread and a can of tuna that we can just sprinkle a little bit of tuna fish on.
Just scrape it up.
Nothing. It was just oil and tuna. And that was the ugliest feeling. It was the ugliest feeling, because it was like, okay, I get it. You're trying to be funny. The place is closed. We can't get anything else. We're on a budget. And that happens, so it was.
What were you thinking?
It was, again, survivability. Like, Jesus, you got to get it done.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's
God.
I think at that point, I would have bought me a goddamn fucking Daisy BB gun. I'd be shooting.
BB gun. No, it'd be hands. We'd be throwing hands.
Our friend Mateo was not very liked for the rest of that evening, because we were starving and we still had to go up there and play. So it was one of those things where it was just like, hey, just zip it, bro, because you're gonna get your ass beat by Benya.
Yeah, you are on the thinnest ice imaginable.
So you got brother Gio here now.
How y'all doing?
What up, Gio?
Hold on.
All right, Mosh, you're up on deck, bro.
What's
All
happening?
right, so when y'all are just chilling out and together and everything else like that, what's the number one thing that everybody agrees on to eat?
To eat.
Hmm.
Barbecue's always good.
This guy's a barbecue connoisseur, so you know what? If we had it,
You have to have Eddie's enchiladas though.
that's true too. Eddie does love to cook, and his chili beans.
Yeah.
See, I'm Mexican food all day, every day. I fucking love fucking enchiladas, tacos, tamales, anything I get. I will eat that shit 3 times a day, every day for every fucking meal. Fuck everything else. It's all I fucking want.
He likes to put
y'all,
he likes to
man.
put a couple eggs on top of his.
That's fine too.
Yeah.
Actually, I stop. I have a favorite taco truck, and they know my whole damn family because we stop in there like fucking 3 to 4 times a week. And their fucking tacos are the greatest goddamn thing I've ever fucking put in my mouth, and I will continue to go there almost every day because I love it.
Now you got everybody. Now you got Matt here too. So
Hi.
Fantastic. What up, Matt?
What's going on?
Going
Good
on.
to see you guys.
All right, CB, you up on deck, brother?
All right. So, what is the greatest memory that you've had with fans or a fan?
ooh, I got a good one now.
Good.
Yeah. So back when we were doing obviously the band went to Germany and recorded Cast Down the Plague in Celle, Germany. And after that whole recording process was over, the guys ended up, like Matt and Rick ended up going back home. Me and Eddie ended up going to go do some press stuff in New York City and then just go hang out with his brother in New York. And so I remember there was a show happening. I think it was King's X and somebody else.
Was it King?
Wow.
I think it was King's X. So we were in line, to go see this show. I mean, like we were just in line like anybody else to pay and, do our thing. And all of a sudden I see this one dude like mad dogging me, like eyeballing me and
He's a
stuff.
big boy too.
And I mean, this dude was, yoked, and I had a Pissing Razors hat on, but I mean, I didn't think nothing of it, but I did glance over and check out the person he was with, and I thought I had gotten busted looking at his lady, but he just kept looking at me like, boy, like he's just like really looking into me, and finally he comes up, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go, it's on.
Shit.
He goes, hey, where'd you get that
Baby's
hat?
warmed up.
And I said, well, it's my hat. And then he looks really good into my, like almost into my face and my eyes, and he goes, you're the singer of Pissing fucking Razors. I said, yeah. That's Eddie. Holy fucking shit. And from that point on, it was a big ruckus going on, and we ended up seeing I think it was Corey Lowry was talking to somebody outside, and he goes, Pissing Razors, what the heck? Hey, what are you guys doing over there? Get the fuck over here. So we ended up getting inside and then taking that dude and his lady inside with us, and we ended up becoming the best of friends. I still talk to that dude every once in a while. His name is Nick Quadrell out there in New Jersey.
Yep.
If you're
Holy
listening,
shit.
brother,
Hell
I said, if Nick's listening and watching, I miss you, brother. I love you, man. We've been friends for 20 plus fucking years, man. That's
we
amazing.
need to figure out how to tag him.
No, for
This
sure.
show's
And,
over.
you know what? But that was one of the coolest stories for me. I don't know what everybody else has, but I mean, I thought I was going to go down in a beat down and stuff. That's what I get. That's what I get for trying to be a creep.
Let's just try shit.
Oh, that was hilarious, man.
All right, what y'all got?
Come on. I know there's something.
There's a lot of good stories. Yeah.
Just trying to pinpoint one.
I think for
the
me,
first one?
when we first, I get a call from Concrete Management, was Pantera's management, and it was a lady named Kim. She goes, "Hi, this is Kim from Concrete Management. I hear you guys are playing in Dallas in a few days." I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, would you guys mind putting Diamond Vinny on the guest list?" And I thought she was yanking my chain. I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So yeah, we get to the show and we put them on the guest list just in case, And sure enough, they showed up. We're playing a little billiards place, like in front of 50 people or so. And like 2 songs in, and freaking there's Brian Vinny and Sturgeon in the back, checking it out. And that's when we really got to know him pretty good. We hung out all that night. I threw up in Vinny's sink.
Oh yes, a very controlled throw up into the sink without making a mess. It was just straight down.
That fucking dime bag.
Wow.
He's like, man down. As soon as I get done throwing up, man, I get done throwing up, and I fucking get up out of the sink, and he fucking has me another shot, and I'm like going, oh my God.
Oh, hell
Lord.
no.
No, that's just gonna come right back up.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, no, that
Gotta wash that down.
That day was pretty sick because I mean they were going to town. They bought shots for the whole bar. You know, at the end of the night.
Yeah, they took us to the
They
clubhouse.
went to the clubhouse with my mother. Look, Dimebag gives my mom like a stack of cash, like $1 bills, and said, "Here, Mama, go ahead and get yourself a nice, pretty lady out there." my mom's out there giving my mom and her boyfriend at the time giving money out to these ladies out there and stuff. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Your mom's cool as shit.
Yeah, she really is. 75 years old and still fucking rocking and rolling.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Hell.
Yeah.
Good God Almighty. They're talking about fucking puke and rally. All right, how about y'all other two? What you got?
Shit, I don't think we can top those two.
I was gonna say, you got a lot to top on that one because I mean it's hard to top fucking Dimebag and Vinny. So
Yeah, man.
Oh, so we had tried to go to the clubhouse years past, and the door guys are really fucking rude, man. They say you can't come in with a t-shirt. We put a long sleeve on. You can't come in with a concert t-shirt. You know, so they're just, and then wanted to charge us some outrageous amount, and then they were telling us like not even a Pantera guys come in here dressed like that. So when I met Dime that night at the bar, I was telling him that story. He goes, "Really?" And I go, "Yeah, dude, like, for real." He goes, "Hang on." And he gets on his phone, and he gets off his phone. He goes, "You guys packed up, ready to go?" Like, "Yeah." All right, follow me. So me and Rick got in his Escalade, and then the rest of the guys were in the van, and fucking hauling ass like doing like 90 miles an hour to the clubhouse. They literally had freaking red carpet rolled out, and the front two doors were open, the red carpet. They had reserved like the whole corner of the freaking strip club just for us.
Nice.
And they had like a whole big trough. It was like full of ice and beers and bottles of Crown and stuff. And I'm just sitting there. I'm already pretty buzzed because Dime was buying me fucking double shots of tequila at the bar. And so I'm just standing there kind of taking it all in with a beer. And he comes over to me and he literally fucking pulls a wad of cash. It was in a wad. And puts it in my hand. He goes, "You having a good time, man? Go get some bitches." I'm like, "Oh, dude, I don't want to take your money, dude." It's like, I was trying to give it back to him, you know? And he wouldn't take it back. So I'm like, "Well, fuck it." So I fucking put it in my mouth. And I fucking ran up to the stage and fucking slid on my back. And the chick dancing, she's like backpedaling, like freaking out. And I'm pointing at the money, like, you know, "Come get this money," you know?
Money,
and, like,
yeah.
and then the DJ's like, "Get off the stage."
Fuck you, bro. I got permission.
So she finally gets it. She comes over and takes some water cash out of my mouth, right?
Yeah.
And I go back over to where Dimebag's at, and he's laughing. He goes, "Well, that's not quite what I meant, but that'll work."
That's badass. So for each one of you, what was the one moment that you guys decided you want to be a musician? Was it a certain band? Was it a family member? Like, what was that one moment that you were like, "This is what I want to do. I want to be a musician. I want to play in a band, and I want to play metal"?
Shit. Man, for me, I'm the youngest of 8, so I heard a lot of music growing up. Man, they would listen to stuff like Grand Funk, you know, Peter Frampton and all that.
Yes.
But the main one is when Judas Priest and then Kiss Alive came out. You know, Kiss Alive came out, then Van Halen came out. That was really, you know, this is what I want to do forever now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think for me was Kiss. I know Eddie hates that, you know, but
that's his favorite band, by the way.
Yeah,
not a fan.
But no, I mean,
not a fan.
They seem like a fun time, but their music is like,
you know, and me and Matt growing up together and you know, high school and stuff like that, we had the same influences, and we were blessed to be able to play together in, you know, in the early years when we were 16, 17 years old with a good friend of ours and brother. Danny Contreras, God rest his soul. He was only 12 at the time, I think, right? 11 or 12, and he was our drummer. So I mean, I knew that Kiss had already influenced us, and then of course the 80s metal that was going on with the Queensryches and the Judas Priest, and then I liked a lot of the underground. So King Diamond was my thing, and I was like, I got to do that. That's it. There's no brainer.
Yeah.
Plus, my biggest inspiration was my dad. He always played, in the 50s and played guitar. So I picked it up from there. So it was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, see, I was an MTV kid. I was, born in the early 80s, and my whole life changed the day I seen fucking Motorhead, Ace of Spades.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because from that moment, that's when I was like, I want Lemmy is God.
There
I
we
want to be a bass player. Now I did try to sing and play bass, but that didn't work out so good because when I sing, I sound like a fucking cat in heat, and that just doesn't fucking work. I stuck with just playing the bass. I'm damn good at the bass, but singing, screaming, I'm fucking horrible. Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
Pass. So I'm gonna throw a bonus question out there because you guys are old enough. Because I get scared about asking this fucking question because every time I ask this question, we get so many like young ones that I don't realize they're in like their 20s and they have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about.
The old man.
So I know if you go back to the days of MTV and you remember Beavis and Butthead.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
What was the first video that you clearly remember seeing on Beavis and Butthead? Because like for me, it was Rob Zombie's Thunder Kiss 65.
I'll say for me, I'll chime in here and say this is the first introduction to Crowbar I saw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crowbar, yeah.
They had Crowbar on there, and they were like, these are the meanest looking dudes, and they had the sludgiest, heaviest Killer sound. And then years later, we befriend the dudes and do shows with them, and they're great dudes. Kurt's great, and that was the first for me was Crowbar.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Hell
agree.
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty the underground.
I have
side
a
of it.
story about that White Zombie. I heard
Bring
that they were on tour, and I guess the record just come out that they weren't selling many records, and the label literally cut their tour support because they were going to drop them. And the next day they came out on Beavis and Butthead, and they sold like 70,000 units or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so the label was, oh yeah, you guys go ahead and stay out on tour.
That was almost a major fumble. Like,
Carry on. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, no, I remember becoming a huge White Zombie fan when I seen Thunder Kiss 65.
Yeah, that was good.
And I was like, who the fuck is this? And I literally was like, bought the album, bought fucking White Zombie t-shirts. Like, I fucking loved it. Was all about it.
I'll tell you another follow-up to that regarding White Zombie was Eddie and I were in a cover band prior to the Razors, and we did the cover circuit throughout the U.S. We would do these week-long residencies at clubs. This was early, like 91, 92, somewhere in there. And no one had heard of a lot of the up-and-coming, cutting-edge White Zombies, Helmets, bands Clutch, Suicidal they had heard, but it was still a lot of underground, and we were writing our own stuff and convincing these clubs that a lot of these tunes, our own music was like, oh yeah, it's a Metallica song. It's like really underground. It was,
Yeah. Take it till you make it.
Yeah. But White Zombie was one of the bands that we played back in the day, and no one knew who they were. And we'd play Thunder Kiss 60.
And Ministry too.
Yeah, Ministry and Thunder Kiss, and people were like, "Who is that tune?" From? And that's a White Zombie tune, and it was really at the stage where it was coming up, and really breaking out. So it was a really cool time.
That's awesome.
All right, Meg. Yeah.
All right. So, of all your shows, festivals, tours, whatever, what's been your favorite show or favorite venue?
Well, you cut out there, Danny.
What's your What's your favorite show or favorite venue? Like had a really sick green room or something.
One that stands out for me was we had a massive show in Yugoslavia, and we were on tour with Propane, and that one stands out for many reasons. I mean, again, we're an opener out of 4 bands on the bill. Obviously, hardcore, that's New York hardcore with Propane, and then there was some other bands, that were on that Fury 5 and Gerd, a Swedish band, and everybody great, good killer tour. But this particular one was just super chaotic. I mean, people are just literally bouncing off the walls and jumping up and down. But then we hear a year later that particular place had gotten bombarded in wartime.
Oh.
So a lot of those folks that we met and enjoyed that show were probably not living anymore.
Wow.
Oh,
So
shit.
yeah, so that one kind of sticks out for me because it was such a cool time for everybody because they saved their money, and they told us, and I think we're having conversations with them at the merch booth, that they had saved their money because the shows weren't coming because their country was in conflict.
Right.
And then all of a sudden that night just erupted into just mayhem of fun, and Propane actually even allowed them to get on stage and just jump up and down. Like I said, nobody was throwing them off, nobody was telling them to stop. It was just like super fun. But again, to think back later that a year later that venue was gone, and some
Not
of those
even a
people,
year later.
A year. Not
so
even,
and to think that maybe some of those people just never survived,
right.
and to me that it's almost it's disappointing and it's hurtful because
Heavy.
I mean there was so much promise, a lot of young lives and all that stuff, and for whatever reason that country was in conflict, and we had an opportunity to go there and make their faces and their heads fucking slam, and fucking it was cool.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Tough.
I love that.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
All right, how about the rest of you? That's gonna be hard to beat. he keeps killing y'all with the bars.
I think for me it was before we were signed. We got to open for Suicidal Tendencies.
Very cool.
And sold out show, packed. And I think to me it resonates with me because I think that's the turning point where the band really came into its own. Kind of graduated to another level, you know what I mean? And I'll always remember that show for that reason.
Yeah. We had a cool venue called Club 101, and they would always bring all the good stuff. I mean, besides, Eddie's place that
was the other place that would bring really cool shows. They had 9 Inch Nails, Suicidal,
a lot of cool bands.
A lot of different bands.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because you guys almost got to play, like, you started in like a golden age of heavy metal. Like I feel like that point of like the mid 80s to the early 90s was like this explosion, because that was like when metal was first hitting MTV, and you had like Headbangers Ball and Beavis and Butthead that was putting metal, and it was finally almost making metal mainstream.
Right.
And we were actually starting to get somewhat of respect, and you had major metal bands that were turning into these big money makers, and you guys were in that point.
Yeah, I think the thing with that, and we discuss it every once in a while, is we were at the tail end of the traditional record label era. Mm-hmm. We actually signed a traditional 5-album deal, which right after that they started doing away with altogether. Mm-hmm. So advances, tour support, things like that bands today don't get. We actually got a lot of press support, things like that. So we were in the magazines. People were actually discovering the bands through Metal Hammer and all the killer, Metal Edge, all the killer European magazines, were really behind the band. So it was a cool era that, a lot of bands to this day don't really get that type of support anymore. It's
a digital world now.
Yeah, it's a digital world.
It's a big change for sure.
Yeah, and it's a pay to play world.
Yeah.
Which I kind of want to ask that next question is, how do you guys feel about this pay to play culture that's going on in, heavy metal today?
Never done it, never will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good.
Luckily we built up a tenure of notoriety throughout the years where it's like we still kind of garner a guarantee when we go out there.
Yeah.
We're not getting rich by any means, so it's really reciprocal where it goes back into the band and it keeps us going and funds, album releases or
Do it for the art.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, and we, again, going back to what we were talking earlier when we were, off of, the whole live thing, it's like by no means, like Matt said, we're not getting rich off of it, but we're still on the financial light, but guarantees, we still have them, and it's cool because, I guess you could say we earned it, and the people still want to give us that, and we appreciate every single people, all the venues and booking agents that we've worked with over the years that still give us the opportunity, and the fans that still want to see us play. It means everything to us. You know what I mean? For sure. I mean, we were gone for quite some time, myself and Matt. Eddie kept it going for a little while and stuff. And then, Gio and Eddie had their own thing. They had a Pantera tribute band going on for some years as well. So they earned that respect too, because meeting all those people.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it's, I have to say that, yeah, we're, I guess, not lucky ones, but we still have that opportunity where, the guarantees are still available to us. And we have that respect from the people out there still.
Right. Sounds good. All right, Mosh, you're up on deck, brother.
All righty. So, is it going to be Bahamas or the snowy Alps?
Just
Which
Bahamas for me.
Bahamas, man.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, go see some bikinis, man. Come on now.
Hell yeah.
I get you on that one.
Yeah, because we could talk about the same things. Like, yeah, we all like that, but I'd like to go back and take another picture with Matt at the Swiss Alps.
Yeah, we were up there.
We had the opportunity to go out there in Europe on our first tour, and we played Switzerland in those early years. I think it was like our first or second show.
Yeah.
And man, that backdrop was amazing.
Oh.
So yeah, if I could repeat that picture with brother Matt, hell yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'd do that.
You can have
All
a beach anytime. You can have a beach anytime.
I have an extreme hatred of cold. Anybody who's watched this show knows I have an extreme hatred of cold.
Me too. I hate the cold, but that was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
So to capture that moment, to repeat it again, it's like
That's probably why too. Is we're in the desert out here, so we get a lot of warm weather throughout the year. So a little bit of variation and some snow and mountains is nice. So.
Mega Monster is in Texas and Houston area, and she's got all the humidity.
Oh, Corpus, so it's even worse.
Oh, Corpus.
Yeah.
It's even worse, brother. Like,
I don't think Corpus is as bad as Houston or San Antonio or Austin or even Dallas.
So
you have the ocean right there next to you.
Yeah.
No,
Meg,
we're right on the water.
is Corpus worse than me? Because I live on an island on the east coast of South Carolina.
No,
and
it's
she was just here.
It's the same. It's literally on the water. Like there's Shoreline, which is a major road. You're looking at the water on your left. You're looking at buildings on your right. Like it is hot and humid. Like today was awful. You spend a minute outside and you're just like, this is the worst.
The last two times we were in Houston and Corpus, it felt like Houston was worse because we were in Houston both times right around this time of year.
Yeah.
So it was really brutal for some reason. And then I think there was nice cool breezes moving.
You know what? That's what I bet it is. I bet it's the breezes.
Yeah.
Because Corpus is a bit more more open than Houston is. Houston is a lot more concentrated. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's more urban, the city environment as it's.
So you're familiar with Brewster's Ice House then?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We played a show there with the Pantera tribute that we were doing some years ago. And out of all my years of playing, I never use a fan or anything like that. I don't mind sweating, But that day we had guitar cabinets stacked up like 4 high, and then my drum kit was behind them.
Yeah.
So I was like in that little cubby hole, and there was no air back there. So I'm playing and sweating my ass off, and all of a sudden I just start getting hot, and I stop sweating. And
Oh no.
felt like I was
That's not good.
throw up.
Yeah, that's bad.
I asked one of our techs, my buddy Rhino, I go, Rhino, you got to find me a fan, dude. He put that fan on me. It felt like cold AC, and it was freaking hot air. And man, that from then on, I go, fuck that. I'm using a fan.
Yeah. From now on, this needs to be on the list. We're bringing a fan. Yeah.
All right, CB, you're up on deck, brother.
All right. So from each of you, what is the single greatest movie that you've seen?
Of all time or new?
Of all time, what the greatest movie you've ever seen was?
That's a
God damn it, you beat me to it. Motherfucker. I was going to
What'd he
call that
say?
one first. Smokey and the Bandit.
yeah.
I was going to say, but he beat me to it. God damn it.
Or Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right.
Caddyshack is badass.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, I love Dumb and
Oh, shit.
Dumber. There's so many people that haven't seen it, and I'm just like,
What?
what?
What the hell?
What?
Yeah, it's
Wanna hear
weird. There's a lot of people that haven't seen that one.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I
I've
go a little further. I like planes, trains, and automobiles.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that one's good too.
Isn't there 3 of them?
Planes, trains, or
I think they did some remakes, but the original's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, even the Jerk.
Right.
The Jerk.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know I've seen 2 of the Dumb and Dumber things. I'm not sure if I've seen the third one or not, but
Oh
The first one is the
all
one.
of that.
first one's
Yeah.
the one you want to see.
yeah, the first one's always the best.
The third one, they actually did some filming here in El Paso.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
So, yeah.
Speaking of reviving old comedies, they're bringing back Happy Gilmore.
I was about to say that.
I
Yeah.
saw that the other day.
I
Yeah.
need to bring the Chappelle.
Can't wait.
That's coming straight out on Netflix in July.
Yeah. Bob Barker's
Bob
not alive,
Barker's
so I
not
mean,
in it.
it's kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, it's not the
Beat
same.
some ass.
Yeah, he's
Kicking ass in that movie.
doing the beatdown, the Barker beatdown.
All right, so flipping it back into music. What is the most embarrassing thing that you've either seen at a show or has happened to you at a show?
Ugh.
Well, buddy.
God damn it. It's me again.
Here we go. Come on.
Let's start this one.
All right. Well, you know,
You shit your pants.
Speaking of Corpus,
Going back to Corpus.
So going back to Corpus.
Speaking of Corpus
Yeah,
Christi,
exactly. So after being gone away from years and years of touring and this and that, whatnot, we decided to do a tour. Like I think it was like in 2015. After we announced that we were getting back together, we're like, all right, yeah, let's go and do some shows. And we're heading towards, we do some Texas. We played at the Gas Monkey in Dallas and whatnot. So then we end up in Corpus Christi, and I'm like 3 bottles in, full, 3 fucking full bottles of Fireball.
Bro.
Because people just knew that that's what I liked, and people just kept bringing them and bringing them and bringing them. And I kept drinking and partaking.
I could not.
So at the end, when it was time to play, in my brain, I insisted I was still in El Paso. So the whole night I kept saying fucking make some goddamn fucking noise. What, El Paso or something? I was like,
Come on, El Paso.
come on, El Paso. Until Matt kicks me on the backside and he's like, dude, you're in fucking Corpus, you stupid motherfucker. And then I go to fucking put my fucking foot on the monitor and I fucking take a dive right into a fucking hole.
Oh no.
All you see is my fucking feet fucking.
Damn.
Somebody, I think it was our roadie guy that was out with us. It was fucking Willie Powers fucking grabs me out. I think it might have been Jay Happ. Ben was, but yeah, he was doing sound, but I think it might have been Jay or Willie Powers pulled me back out and he's like, hey, stupid, you're in Corpus, bro. Get together. And I was like, God damn it. Yeah, so yeah.
I love it.
But I'll tell you what, they were so nice and they were, they never beat me up on over it. So that was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're used
I
to
think we
get
gave him more
the
space than the fans.
short end of the stick.
Oh yeah. I never lived it down with the guys because that was a topic of conversation the whole time that we were in the van and stuff. I was like, bro. And then they kept showing me the videos, and then I started getting upset, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to see that no more.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry. Let's just forget it. Okay. We're done. We're done.
We have Joe here singing, and I'm on this side. Y'all can see his Matt's big old shoe come up.
Yeah.
He's trying to get his attention. His legs going like 6
Every
feet
time
out.
I was saying it, you just see the fucking size 11, boom, boom, and I wasn't getting it. So yeah,
Oh man,
that was.
All right, who's next?
Jesus.
I think I'm next.
No. Which one of them's next with their
Oh,
story?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come
Hey,
on.
man,
This is the
where
best
we
part.
Oh yeah, no, y'all got to answer that.
I don't think we can beat that one either.
Come on.
It's not a competition. We just want to know. We just want to know something.
We love stories.
I'll tell you a good one from who we had when the PA caught fire.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were in
Mineral Wells or something.
No, it was in
Wichita
Wichita Falls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is, Wichita. You want to tell that one?
Oh, so we were in Wichita Falls, and we're out in the back of the building. And as it was, our friend that put the show on, he's a good friend, and was doing his best. But they had a really small PA, and it was like kind of inadequate for the room. But we're just like, oh fuck it, let's make the best of it, So all of a sudden we're in the back, and the band's before us. They're playing. Also, these two guys come out carrying one of the speakers, and it's freaking on fire.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I go, wow, that's half the PA right there. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have a real good
Yeah,
show.
we're like, yeah.
We're playing with one side only.
Yeah, I think we played with one side.
Shit.
And Gio had just found a picture recently on, I think, was it you that you
Oh
sent?
yeah.
He just found a picture on the internet somewhere, and it was a speaker that was blowing up, and the guy's in there putting his face in there, and it was smoking. I was like, bro, it's burnt. That
Yeah.
thing's burnt. So
Dead.
I'm gonna give a shout out to our friend Dave Garcia. He does his show out there and stuff like that. So if he's listening, much love, brother. We'll see you soon.
Good
man.
beats. But there was another time we were playing in Minneapolis, and I had my monitor wedge, next to me. I said, I look back and it's freaking on fire, like flames coming out of it and shit.
Oh shit!
I grabbed my beer, I threw it in the speaker, so I could put the fire out.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I didn't have a monitor after that. But
No, you're flying blind. Shit. That is wild.
Fair enough.
Metal as fuck though.
Yeah, for sure.
Fucking catching speakers and PAs on fire. Hell yeah.
Mhm.
That's the only way to do it.
Dang, that's right.
So before we get to the point of playing one of y'all's videos and getting to the end, what is, for each of you, what is one performance that you will never forget? Where was it? Who were you playing with? What was the show? The whole 9 yards.
I think I already answered that one earlier. The Suicidal Show before we were signed. Yeah. At Club 101.
I think that last Milwaukee Fest we did was badass.
That one was good too.
That was a great festival.
Yeah, the inaugural Milwaukee Metal Fest with Jamie Josta bringing it back.
Okay.
I have to say, I agree with Gio. It was so cool, and for us, very influential back in the day because we were lucky enough to play it 2 times prior. The Jack Koshik Milwaukee Metal Fest, I think we did 12 and 13, I think it was, 98 and 99.
Mm-hmm.
And then we did when they took it on a circuit, we did the 2000 version in San Antonio
and LA.
and the LA one. Yeah. So, but to go back to do the original one, and we were invited by the guys from the whole JB Josta and the Milwaukee Metal Fest crew out there again. Super cool. And for me to feel that the draw and the whole atmosphere of all the people again, I had to take a stage dive. So yeah, my old ass decided to get in there and take a dive.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
And at least they caught me and they threw me right back on, and we ended the night with a nice little send off. So it was super cool to have revisited that. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So on that, we are going to end the night with a music video from Pissing Razors. On that, we will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for everybody who's been watching. Don't go nowhere. Check out their music. Please go follow Pissing Razors on all of their fucking social media accounts. Buy some damn merch. Go to some fucking shows. Support your local scene. Be good to each other. Wrap your fucking tool. Don't drink and drive. On that, we're out of
Thanks,
here.
everyone.
We love you guys. Have a
Hey,
great night.
man. Thank you, everybody,
Hey,
for being
see you
so
later.
cool, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.